I'm going to start my next project with this Subway bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the bottom, open it up, iron it, and then I'll come back after I've got it cut into tag shapes. You can see that it opened up to a really big size. So right here, just cutting open the one seam, there's a foot there. Yeah, it's about 17 inches, so that's just cutting it along this back seam here and across the bottom has made it this big. I've got all my stamps in order. I've got teapot with flowers, butterfly, leaf, text. This I got from a thrift shop. It's for Sculpey, but I think it'll make a good background. This has got music notes, heart in a locket, the ladybug and dragonfly, some more text, more text. So I'm just going to put these aside and start stamping and see what it looks like. This one I'm going to have to put on here. There we go. Just set everything aside. Let's see, what shall I start with? Shall I start with some big ones? Let's see. It's a nice small one. I'll put that one there. Well, maybe let me just do a test. See how it turns out. Oh, it's working wonderful. Alrighty, I think I'm going to do just some All right, so I'll just keep going and show you the result. I didn't use all the stamps I had, but I think I covered it pretty good. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take some white paint and do some spattering on it. I put an apron on because last time I made such a mess. So I'm going to take my fan brush, get it wet, thin out my paint. And it's just regular Deco Art Americana Snow Titanium White. All right, let's try this and see how well it works. Loving the contrast between the Subway bag, the black, and the white spatter. The next step, I'm going to cut these into tag sizes, and then I'm going to attach some kind of paper, kind of like a collage kind of thing. There, I I think that turned out pretty good. These sizes aren't really that important because it all depends on the size bag you've got and the size tags you want to make. But I've cut my bag down to 6 inches tall, or about 16 centimeters. Then I cut the top one in 6 inches, and then what was left was, let's see, we'll do that in centimeters, about 7.5 centimeters by 3 inches. So now that I've got these cut, I turn them over and mark them where I wanted them cut. So I'm just going to use my tear ruler and just start tearing these into the lengths that I want. So I'll carry on and show you the result. I've got them torn into the sizes that I want. And then I've got my William Shakespeare book that's wonderfully aged. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to tear pages into a triangle shape. And then I'm just going to glue or decoupage or collage the page onto each one of these. So when I'm ready for that project, I'll show you. These book pages are considerably bigger than these pages that I've torn. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to go ahead and cut around all these pages and then tear so that I can use the upper part and the lower part on these tags so I don't waste any of these pages. I've got my book pages torn down and I'm going to use Mod Podge water resistant glue and sealer. Looks like it's a gloss. Oh, that looks awful thin. Let's see if that helped a little bit. No, it looks like it's a real thin product. You know, I think I'm going to add a little bit of glue to that because I don't like how thin that is. So I've got my PVA glue here. I think I'm going to put, pardon the tooting of my bottle. And I'm going to mix that up. And I'm going to use that as the glue for putting the book page. Gosh, I hope this turns out. This is an awful old book to be wasting this project. So I've got that ready. And I'm going to take my book page and I'm going to tear it so it's got a nice varied edge to it. I'm not going to edge it or ink it because this book is already old. So I don't need to do anything else to make it look older than what it is. And And I will go ahead and do the rest of them and show you the result. I've got these glued on and they've really curled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to iron them, and then also I think I'm going to iron some freezer paper onto the back as well and see if I can save this project. There we go. I got them ironed onto freezer paper. Now I'm going to cut them all out of the freezer paper and then I'll start embellishing. I don't know if I'm going to keep them as journal cards or if I'm going to make them into tags. We'll see. I've decided the papers that have the book page on the bottom left corner versus the ones that have the paper on the top right corner. These I'm going to leave as journaling cards, so I'll embellish those later. But the ones that are cut like this, I'm going to go ahead and make into tags. I'm going to do some aging of the paper reinforcers. And this is walnut stain. There we go. Do these just lightly. All right, so those are aged. Now I'm going to take my card that I've cut the corners off of and cut tag shapes. There, I'll continue on with that and I'll show you when I'm done. I went through my box of fussy cutting magazines out and I've come up with what I'm going to do for all of these tags and for the journaling cards. So let me put this away. And I'm going to start gluing. I went through and I kind of decided how I'm going to do each one of these. So I will glue them on and show you the result. And here is my reveal. I had a hard time getting the glue off my fingers. So after I'm done showing you these, I'm going to have to put them under a heavy book to flatten them out. I washed my hands really good too, and I've still got glue on them. And I've got no oil because I've washed all the oils out of my hands, so it's hard for me to grab these. Yeah, I hope you like that project. Thank you for watching.